From where we stand, or for where we stand now on this impasse over the border wall funding. Joining me from the White House is NBC's Kelly O'Donnell, who I hope has had 20 seconds to digest everything that's just happened. And from Capitol Hill, MSNBC's Garrett Haake for reaction from that side of Pennsylvania Avenue. Kelly, let's start with you. The president confirmed that he told congressional leaders that the shutdown, as you and I discussed an hour ago, could last for months. He said even up to a year. What has happened?
Well, it's also striking that he sort of suggested that the weekend working group might be so successful that it wouldn't last that long. So the president was kind of hitting every base all over the place. A couple of things struck me. He is now the man of steel after for a long time saying he wanted a concrete wall. That's evolved to something you can see through, slats, fencing, a variety of things. Now embracing the idea of a steel structure that would be used as a border barrier, claiming that that might be more palatable for Democrats. Here's the president talking about that as an option.
Our steel industry's come roaring back, and that makes me very happy. I think we'll have to build a steel wall as opposed to a concrete wall, because we have steel companies again. There's something awfully nice about that.
The other thing that really stands out to me now, and it's something I think we'll be talking about a lot even after this kind of wild give and take with reporters, the president acknowledged that he believes he has the power under the Constitution to declare a national security emergency that would then allow him to utilize the military to build this wall. He was asked about that. He said he does believe he has that power. He is not saying he's absolutely going to use it, but said that he could use it. And of course, the typical process would be appropriation from Congress for this. So this would be a novel approach to the president's use of power. Now, the Constitution gives the president a lot of power when it comes to national security. So then the question would be, how do you define that? So in times of war or attack or some other kind of cataclysmic emergency, we could imagine where any commander-in-chief would exert that power for a specific purpose. He's saying that the southern border, which came out of a political promise, a campaign promise. That's not to say he doesn't believe that it is the appropriate thing to do. That's his agenda item. To now say that rises to the level of a national emergency. That's something the president floated here today that I think will get a lot of discussion in the days to come about what would the limits of that power be. It would likely be challenged in court, I would imagine. Allie?
And Garrett, look, as an economics journalist, I see a lot of things through these lenses. And as Kelly points out, it at some point would require appropriations. I cannot see a democratically controlled House who didn't want to fund the wall the normal way, agreeing to fund it as a military exercise.
No, I can't fathom that either, Ellie. That last hour was extraordinary. Falsehoods, misrepresentations, and total tangents by the president. Combining what we heard from the president with what I've heard from congressional leaders, both at the stakeout immediately after the meeting and since they've come back here, here's where I think we actually are on all of this. We do know there will be this working group that'll be put together over the weekend, members of staff from the various congressional membership who are involved in these negotiations, staff from the White House, trying to see what, if any, kind of agreement they can come up with. Although it's hard to see how they get there, because it's also my understanding that the disagreement here came down to the fact that Democrats say they don't want to negotiate with the president on the border security portion of this while the government is still closed. Their position remains, let's reopen the government and then let's talk about border security if that's indeed the way you want to go with it.
Hey there, I'm Chris Hayes from MSNBC. Thanks for watching MSNBC on YouTube. If you want to keep up to date with the videos we're putting out, you can click subscribe just below me or click over on this list to see lots of other great videos.